Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, ImperialDane. We have for you today a 1 versus 1 on Semois. Yes, indeed, not Angerville or Bow Lowlands, but for once, Semois. Exciting, isn't it? And we start out with this little cemetery, which is a particular feature of Semois, which usually ends up being violently desecrated repeatedly. A tragic fate for such a thing, but let's have a quick look on the map. We have 3 victory points on a row, all in the center. 2 of them near high munitions points. We have some low munitions point near the central victory point, and we have these 2 fuel points, which are usual targets of harassment, in which case some players do place barbed wire around them to prevent that. We have some lower fuel points around here as well, but the largest ones are near the bases, and higher munitions points are also somewhat close, but the highest ones are furthest away. Now then, let's get started, shall we? Oh, hang on, forgot to introduce everybody. We have me here, Major Dane of the 1st Infantry Division, Easy Company, ready to take the fight to Jerry, and in the north we have IplayforBS. Yes, very dashing German commander of the 352nd Grenadier Division, ready to push back my forces and hopefully hold Festung Europa free of the Western Allies. So let's get this started, shall we? Finally, barracks going up for my troops. Mr. BS or Hauptmann BS apparently not doing anything. He must have been a bit AFK, it seems. Curious. But nonetheless, not going to be a dull fight, I can promise you that. Engineers on the way out, rushing towards the strategic point, and the barracks is up. Going to see some riflemen very soon. And now we see some movement from the pioneers finally, and me accidentally pressing R while apparently having opened up the chat. A bit off, but you know, happens. Engineers securing the nearby strategic and fuel point, waiting with this munitions point since it's relatively safe, so I'll rather focus on the more far away points first. And we see a Wehrmacht quarters going up, far away from the entrance though. Not the usual, some players close it right in front of their headquarters. I do that, for example, and some prefer to have it closer to any exit so their troops can get faster out. Riflemen on the move as the 1st infantry team on the field, making nice headway, and certainly not going to meet any opposition since this Wehrmacht quarters was quite delayed in getting up. Can't say why the good Hauptmann BS was away, but let's not worry too much about that. He'll make up for that. But so far all quiet. Pioneers seizing their territory, engineers seizing territory for me alongside the riflemen, equipped with the M1 Garand semi-automatic rifle, with the squad leader equipped with the M1 carbine. Not quite as powerful, and was more meant as a support weapon, I suppose, meant for more rear guard troops, I believe, although I might be wrong on that. I'm not an expert on American small arms, but I do believe that is how it went. 2nd Rifleman team on the field versus 1 Volksgrenadier team from the 352nd Grenadier Division, moving out as well, going straight for this munitions point. Rifleman having seized the central victory point, spotting the Volksgrenadiers, quickly moving up for cover and trying to seize this building before the Volksgrenadiers do, I suspect. Yes, indeed, although the Volksgrenadiers moving in on the blind side of this building, more or less. For some reason, no one really uses this big hole in the wall, which apparently they should. I'm not sure why, but yeah. Further Volksgrenadiers arriving on the scene, forcing my riflemen out onto a slightly more defensible position. Volksgrenadiers moving in as well. 2nd Rifleman team on the field. Volksgrenadiers caught out in the open once more. Heavy cover is directional. Unless you're on the right side, it doesn't count. And my riflemen seizing this building again, using this now nice broadside to fire at the Volksgrenadiers without much threat to themselves. causing some losses to the Volksgrenadiers and forcing them away. And now we see a jeep on the way, and we see a machine gun ready to move out to support the Volksgrenadiers. We're now in a slightly unfortunate situation. Jeep joining in with its light 30 caliber machine gun. Volksgrenadier team on the run. MG42 moving in, provides covering fire, and one rifleman goes down, another goes down as well. Jeep moving in. Perhaps I should have moved it a bit further on the other side. Instead I got it too close, and it gets taken out by the submachine guns of the... Oh, well, it gets taken out by a bunker actually. Bit of an unfortunate move, but I did force back at least a temporary halt in the German advance, although quickly going to get at it again. Mines going down at this northern fuel point as well as here to prevent any territory seizures. That's a really usually a good move. Place mines near it, that way if they try to take it, boom. And we see IplayforBS or HauptmannBS doing the same around his munition point. And we see the Volksgrenadier seizing a point, and we see the MG42 setting up in this building, going to be able to cover here and somewhat here and here as well. Certainly not bad, but perhaps a bit too cautious for my liking. Fresh riflemen moving out to replace that jeep. I don't suspect I'll get another, since that one was a bit too quickly burned out, I think. Riflemen moving out, trying to stop these Volksgrenadiers from seizing the victory point, and I have at the same time seized this victory point as well with my engineers. So far not much success for the 352nd Grenadier Division. They are a bit too spread out. Not much to support them, although we see a sniper out for HauptmannBS ready to take some very lethal shots at my riflemen. But we see further riflemen moving out. Pioneers not having hit the mines, although I'm a bit undecided I think about where to move those riflemen, but I decide to focus on this spot. Moving some in through the cemetery, I think, going to try and flank this heavy machine gun from a solid sturdy cover. And indeed it might even have to pull back in a slight unfortunate situation. Only one man left retreating, and we see the sniper has arrived, taking a shot with his scope gewehr 43 at the rifleman in the building. Quite low on health, quite low on numbers, but rifleman moving forward, and the sniper moves a bit too close. Takes a few shots but moves away, does not retreat. A bit of a bad move, I think. In particular since there's nothing to actually cover the sniper, and it's actually going to be a bit obvious where he's going, meaning I can just move in my riflemen after him. And there we go, spotted out in the middle of the road, meaning my riflemen are going to have an extra easy time after taking him out. Volksgrenadiers running around, sneaking around in the back, harassing a bit, and we see Pioneers doing the same, laying down some mines. In fact, not a bad move, although at the same time one should be a bit cautious about trying to use Volksgrenadiers like riflemen and harass with them. They're not so good on their own. Volksgrenadiers should generally work in pairs against riflemen, otherwise things might go a bit nasty. Flamethrowers on the way, going to burn out those Volksgrenadiers on this. They're careful. One already down, on fire, and makes it into the water, but it's too late, already dead, so no salvation for him. And we see the rifleman moving in, hitting a mine, getting pinned, stopping the seizure of the strategic point. This mine hasn't been set off, oddly enough. Perhaps I placed it a bit too far away, but we see the MG42 moving out again, and some riflemen sneaking about. Engineers seizing this point, and we see me going up with a supply yacht. I'm suspecting he might try Puma Rush, in which case I'd rather have something a bit sturdy to deal with it, or for that matter something else. But we see Volksgrenadiers moving out under the supervision of an MG42. And we see the Krieg barracks have gone up for the Wehrmacht player HauptmannBS. Let's see what he's up to. A half-track, certainly a novel choice. Not a lot of players use half-tracks, certainly not this early. And so let's see how he'll use that. MG42 suppressing the riflemen out in the open, forcing them to retreat. Not a good situation, and we'll see here my men going for the mine, a bit damaged, and boom! Boom. Completely wiped out. It can be useful to use wounded and low men squads to try and seize points, of course, instead of just pulling them back, but at the same time you can risk them completely wiped out by a mine, and that's what happened there. Tragic, of course, and I have another low health team. Might want to consider pulling those back. Foot Grenadiers attacking, although pulling back due to heavy cover, providing some protection for my riflemen, and we seeing this pulling back since it's too deeply wounded. And we see the motor pool has gone up, and I'm also setting up a triage center to actually heal my troops. Foot Grenadiers hit the mine there. And we see the half-track moving in with the Pioneer in it to man the guns. Usually how I do things as well, and using it quite nicely to provide fire support and suppress my riflemen, since half-tracks are quite good with their light machine guns at that. We also see a bunker going up for Hauptmann BSS 352nd Grenadier Division. Probably going to be a medic bunker to minimize his casualties. Triage center providing some healing and healing my men, but I can't really afford to have them hanging around like this, so I quickly move out before they're fully heated. And we see a 57mm anti-tank gun. I'll probably try and use that to knock out that half-track, which stays safely on in this part of the map, doesn't move into the city, does not move across this small fort here. And we see another mine up from me. MG42 team setting up to cover this central area while Foot Grenadiers move in. A Pack 38 on the way as well. Interesting. Certainly expecting me to go for some armored cars as well. Certainly not a bad expectation. Riflemen as setting up. Perhaps some new? No. Just slightly battered and recuperating, but we see two teams moving in. Anti-tank gun opening fire. Probably going to shoot a bit at that half-track. Yes, indeed, almost taking out, but the half-track makes it out alive, just barely. Riflemen's being suppressed. Anti-tank gun firing away, hitting the wall instead, breaking down some of it. Engineers setting up some mines at this crossroads in case my enemy decides to flank. Can always be helpful like that to try and predict your enemy's movement and then limit it via the usage of mines. And we see a minesweeper being equipped for some of my engineers, so I don't run into mines myself. Always hate it when that happens. Riflemen once more storming back towards the headquarters, going to heal up. Engineers hanging around, looking a bit dashing with the minesweepers. Riflemen moving in. AT gun opening fire. Riflemen opening fire on the Foot Grenadiers out in the open. MG42 providing fire support for the Foot Grenadiers. Riflemen on the move, a fresh rifleman team in fact, and setting up a weapon support center as well. Probably want something a bit more useful against those MG42, something that can fire it from a distance, and of course